I think my favourite part was that Never Kill Yourself was trending because Tomodachi Life finally got a sequel. That's my favourite part of the direct. You too can thrive. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
And this week, ladies and gentlemen,
you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking, Hunter. For the first time in 261 episodes, someone asked me how I'm
We
doing.
have definitely asked you how you've been before.
Never. I have been lonely and sad, and I've been waiting for this day for 5 stinking
We
years.
talk to you every week.
No, you
Brother,
do
the
not.
podcast is not your therapist.
It is. This is my therapy every week. And speaking of therapy, it's Nintendo therapy, everybody. We're here to talk. It's the calm before the storm, ladies and gentlemen, and we still have another direct to talk about. God damn it. So this is what we're gonna do, right? Game plan. We're gonna talk about next week's direct and then last week's direct, and then we'll hope for the best. There might be something in between. Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. What a weird week, right? Because we were always planning to do this.
They could always announce something on their Nintendo News app now.
One more time. Dude, one mini direct. Dude, one more for the road. It's just crazy, dude. Like, I know we were joking, thinking, oh yeah, there might be a direct this week. And then there was. And I was like, oh, it's not a joke. What are they doing? And then they were like, surprise, Nintendo Switch 1 games, plot twist for 2026. Like, what on earth? Like, you absolute weirdos. Why would you do that? Ugh.
You gotta wonder what they're cooking, Mo.
You've got to, haven't you? But at the same time, I vibe with it. I respect it. I respect it quite a bit. But hey, we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, we're going to start with the Nintendo Switch 2, because that's what we originally came here to do. I'm sure you guys have heard every single impression of how mid that Nintendo Direct was. Well, fuck off. Scratch that, reverse it. We're the Hype Brigade. We're the ones that liked that Direct, and we're going to tell you how great it was. Suck it, nerds. It was pretty good.
It was pretty freaking good.
It was pretty good. I liked it. As a massive fan of rhythm games and Tomodachi Life, I won. This was my time. I thrive.
I think I sent this to you guys in group chat during that direct, but I'm like, that direct was just better than it had any right to be.
They didn't have to go that hard.
They really did.
I think my favorite part was that Never Kill Yourself was trending because Tomodachi Life finally got a sequel. That's my favorite part of the direct. It's like, yeah, you too can thrive. It's great stuff. But yeah, we're going to talk about our predictions and what's going to happen in 2 days' time. And we've also got something happen. We'll do our recap of the Switch 1 presentation after that. And what's that in the timestamps? Is there a weird thing in the middle? I wonder what that is. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. These two have no idea. Anyway, Switch 2 predictions,
question marks to us,
and dreams. A topic that I feel like we have been doing since 2023, ladies and gentlemen. But it's finally time.
It's still better than the rest of the internet who's been doing it since 2019.
True.
This is where Ethan actually just splices in an old episode.
Joke's on you. Yeah, that is literally what I do. But no. Joke's on you guys. 48 hours time, we will know everything about the Nintendo Switch 2. We will know absolutely everything about it. Probably when it's coming out. Spoiler alert, looks like it's June. When pre-orders have started, spoiler alert, it'll probably be either on the day or the week after. like, you know. And most importantly, the games. So we're going to do a little bit of a recap, count some predictions, what we know so far. Spoiler alert, not too much. There's a C button. People are still freaking out about that C button. It was in another render. What is the C button? Anyone got any predictions on the C button? I think that's the most important thing. Has anyone got a prediction on that?
It stands for combust. If you push it, your controller explodes.
They were sick of Joy-Con drift, and they now added Joy-Con combustion, dude. It's just like, if the joystick stops working, press the button and just die. Like, that's it. Just give it a... Just let it go, dude. Just let it go. It's time. I assume it's going to be a Kinect. Like, I standard's going to be stands for connect or
Like
something
this,
like that.
like a syncing button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like some kind of weird feature. I don't know. It's a weird one. I have no clue what it could be. I guess we'll find out. That'll be the HD rumble of this generation. I feel like it'll be like when you press
Probably.
this, shit hits the fan, ladies and gentlemen.
It feels like there are actually ice cubes in your hand.
We actually dispense ice cubes from your controller.
So it
Uh,
activates the smell-o-vision.
oh, that'd be sick, dude. That'd be sick. All this and the battery life will
Walk-
still be terrible. I
walk-
can't wait.
Walking around Prime 4, getting the whole stink of the planet.
Oh yeah. Oh god, nothing smells better than alien planets, Carl. Nothing smells better. Predictions time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't remember what we did. We did a predictions dedicated episode around a year and a bit ago because we did it in January 2024 because we thought 2024 was definitely the year. So if I remember, I'll put a link in the cards if you want to go and check that out. Wait here, keep the watch time high, ladies and gentlemen. But afterwards, feel free to go and check how we did last time because I don't remember anything that I predicted last time. So I think everything's going to be different. Hunter, we'll start with you. Have you got a big, bold prediction to start us off with? No, I don't want any baby goo goo gaga predictions here, Hunter. I want a big swing.
All right. Astral Chain 2.
That is a big swing, and that's
That is a
like
big swing.
And you know what they say about big swings?
Okay, not that big.
Lead to some big misses. Why do you think Astral Chain 2? Do you think it's time?
Well, it's been, 6 years since the other one. Just about. It will be 6 years this year anyway, sometime
Really been
later.
that long?
But
Oh my
yeah, it came out in 2019. And Nintendo
Ooh.
bought the IP, so you'd have to assume they want to do something with it eventually. Maybe it won't even be another hack and slash kind of thing. Maybe they'll just do something completely different with it, make it an RTS or something
It's
stupid.
a puzzle game now.
Yeah. Who knows? But I feel like that's the kind of weird thing that would underwhelm half the people watching and excite the other half that
100%. 100%.
is bound to show up at this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because there was those leaks and little bits and leaks and rumors. Obviously, nothing major has come out about this direct. I'm hoping, and this is my fingers crossed. I could be completely wrong. We're recording this on the Friday, right? So for all I know, over the weekend, some douchebag decides to leak the entire thing, right? But I'm hoping that either this thing is locked down pretty tight, or leakers are actually doing everybody a solid and are actually just not going to leak everything for this direct. Like people have got to know some things by now, right? They've been knowing.
Everyone's so
direct dates for
concerned with
weeks.
Everyone's so concerned with the 4K or is it 4K? Will it do your taxes? Does it make me baked potatoes? Kind of deal that
Pretty sweet.
no one cares about what games are in this thing.
It's like the KFC console.
Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, it's weird because obviously we've seen that that 3-tier thing where they're going to focus on first parties first. Then what we assume is that they've given certain devs access, which you expect like the big publishers, and then whoever else can just fucking do what they want afterwards, right? So it is interesting because it's like you got to assume that someone like Platinum Games, if they were working on it or if they brought it internally, that's the kind of thing that you can just assume that would probably have been started work on ages ago. If it is, like, it's not something that you hold out on. You can just drop an Astral Chain when you feel like it.
Yeah, it's like the people who liked Astral Chain will probably still like Astral Chain whenever you put it out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like let's just get the easy ones. Let's get the easy yes or no's out of the way. Is Mario Kart the launch game? Is everyone under the impression that Mario Kart is the launch game for this thing?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Or near enough launch, yeah.
It's weird. It makes sense. It's the biggest seller. Like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 6 bajillion copies. But it does feel weird to launch with a Mario Kart. It just doesn't really happen. Like, really, does it? Like, most of the time it's a 3D Mario. So it just feels very weird to me. It's like, okay, everybody, come on into Mario Kart and then sit there for a month. You know what I mean? It's like, big chunky single player. Nah, dude. 24-player kart racer. Let's go. Kind of weird, but I respect it. Do you think we just get the full deep dive on this? Do you think they just go through all of it? Or do you think it's just a little tease?
Hope not.
Yeah.
I hope they just show you like a 2.5 minute trailer and move on.
I hope every character gets a super in-depth biography.
This is why we
Mr.
changed Donkey
Give me their
Kong's
life
design.
story.
Well,
Mr. Sakurai presents Mario Kart.
Tell me why you put Boshi in the game.
here's right. Yeah. Final question for Mario Kart. Obviously, we all think it's a launch game. Pretty obvious. Do you think it'll be called Mario Kart 9 or 10? Is there any preference on numbers here, ladies and gentlemen? Is Tor canon? Kyle, Kingdom Hearts fan. This is the most important question. Is Tor canon to Mario Kart? Yes or no? We going over or under?
I'm gonna say yes.
Do you think it's going to be Mario Kart 10? They're doing a Windows. They're skipping 9.
No,
okay.
but I think they're calling it Mario Kart 9 anyways.
Sick. I respect it, to be honest. I respect it a little bit. Do you think they'll open it up to wider Nintendo?
Probably. They were driving towards that anyway with the last
They
one,
were,
weren't
Hunter,
they?
but that was a decade ago, my friend. Plans change, obviously.
Did Smash Brothers suddenly stop selling well? I don't think their strategy's gonna change.
True.
Oh man, Terry Bogard and Mario Kart.
Here's my
Now
prediction.
we're cooking.
You know, Hunter, I'll go the opposite. I think
Really?
no Nintendo reps. I think it's strictly a Mario Kart. And here's my prediction, because I think the DLCs are going to be packs based on different Nintendo IPs. That's what my prediction is.
That would make sense too. I wasn't necessarily thinking.
I think everyone's going to. I think everybody's going to get. I think everyone's going to see this Mario Kart trailer and go, "Oh, cool. Where's Link?" And then nothing happens, and they don't say anything, and then it's like, "Oh, okay," and then it'll come later, because everybody has to be disappointed in some way at this direct. But no, fair enough. My prediction. You've got to have something Zelda in a launch year.
Yeah. I was thinking that. What do you think?
It's Wind Waker time, dude. It's Wind Waker. They're gonna bring him, and it's just gonna look the fucking same. And it'll be on both.
Yeah.
It'll be on both of them. It'll be on Switch 1 and Switch 2. This will be one of those. You know how like they were looking at the fine print when they did the Switch digital whatever cards, and it was like Switch 2 exclusive and Switch 2 enhanced games. Like they've kind of confirmed that they are doing updates or ports that are exclusive to Switch 2. And I feel like that'll be one of those ones where it's like it's Wind Waker in it, and if you put it in your Switch 2, it's 10 times the detail, and it's the same fucking game. Like, what are we kidding? Some Todd Howard snake oil. But I don't know, Hunter, Kyle, do you think
we somehow cranked the bloom up even more?
HDR, dude, crank that shit. Oh, yeah, there you go.
If you look at the sun, you'll go blind.
Maybe that's their plan, is to, with generative AI, it's like if we flood the internet with overbloomed, overcompensated Wind Waker screenshots, maybe we can take it down. The anti-Ghibli effect. Like we just make it the most horrendous looking game of all time. I'm down for that. Do you think there's any other option, Hunter, for Zelda? Because there's got to be something Zelda. There's surely got to be something.
I guess possibly Twilight Princess instead, since that's the other one.
I mean, yeah, Tiki was also there.
Why not both? Maybe both?
Because they're going to sell the whichever one that isn't to you the next year.
True. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
But some sick part of my brain ticked off a second ago when you asked if there was any other possibilities that there was going to be yet another Hyrule Warriors, but I don't think they'll do that enough.
That's
not the launch year.
Spicy little take there. Could you imagine that, guys? Mario Kart 9 and then Hyrule Warriors. I'll be like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Why is Tomodachi Life next year on Switch 1, dude? I'll be like, oh god. Someone make it stop.
It'll be Hyrule Warriors Calamity Ceiling War or some hoopla.
Oh, thank goodness. There's got to be some, like I say, there's got to be something Zelda. It's like, you got to expect Mario, you got to expect Zelda. Like, they're the two that you've got to expect.
But
something
now,
from.
Do you think that like an old Zelda game could get the Link's Awakening treatment?
Well, Grezzo's just released Echoes, so I feel like it's not time. The only thing I can possibly think of, and I think it would absolutely break the internet, is an old 3D Zelda remake. That's the only thing that I can think of, and that would have to be Ocarina, wouldn't it? If they did announce that there was an Ocarina remake that was coming within the first 12 months of Switch, I think it'd be like, oh, game, set, and match. They've won, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. They've done it.
Look at that. They've done it again. The Switch 2 is the most profitable console in the universe.
Yeah. Which I'd love to see, don't get me wrong. Mainly because
That'd
I
be
hate the
cool.
original controls of Ocarina. I can never get through it because the controls are just so clunky to me as someone that didn't grow up with
God.
it.
Ocarina of Time with real camera control would be nice.
Yeah, man. Just
Yeah.
like I'd adore that.
Ocarina
What I wouldn't be
of Time
surprised
with a
with
great fairy that isn't a sleep paralysis demon would be nice.
if we don't get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, my other prediction would be that there's some kind of definitive edition of Tears of the Kingdom. Would be the other thing where it's like, look, it's the Switch 2 version. Maybe both of them get an update or something like that, or an
Yeah.
upgrade where it's like, look, you can play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom at a good frame rate for the first time in 7 years. And I'd be like, oh, they've again roll out the red carpet. They've done it again. Another 7 years.
I
of
wouldn't be
excellence from
shocked to
Nintendo
see,
right there.
I wouldn't really be shocked to see that first if they wanted to push like the whole this is what your Switch 2 can do for your Switch games.
I think there's going to be a whole section where they have to do that, where it's like, because you've got to convince people to hop on over, because the Switch One is such a huge audience base, but also Nintendo fans tend to stay more casual, so it's going to be hard to get them to jump over. So you just say to them, listen, look at your library, and then show examples, and the big examples to me would obviously be the three main 3D Zelda games, and probably Metroid would be the other one, where it's like, look, these are Switch 1 games, they run better, they look better on Switch 2. There you go. Just kind of no questions asked would be my guess. Kyle, do you have any big predictions that you want to throw out there into the ether? I mean, I can go first if you still want to think about it. I can go.
No, I'm just thinking like, what are we expecting from Mario right now? Like platformer Mario.
My
Do you
goat
think
right.
Odyssey 2, Mario 64?
No, it'll be a new 3D Mario, and it'll be out this holiday, because I feel like if there's one thing Nintendo has been consistent on in their entire fucking lives, that like of most consoles, I think the only one that might not be, when was Sunshine out for GameCube? That might be the only like exception that I can really think of. Is nearly every mainline Nintendo console has either launched or has had a Mario in the launch window within like the first like 6 months, right? It's like Odyssey was the October to, after March. 64 was a launch title. 3D Land launched very close to the 3DS's game, unfortunately, New Super Mario Bros. U was basically a launch game for Wii U. Oof, bit of a bad one there. But
yeah, what a pace setter that was.
I feel like it's been that long from 3D Mario that it's like, I feel like everyone's just expecting this holiday to be playing a 3D Mario game, because if Nintendo could put anything out that they know won't don't even have to worry about GTA 6, baby. We've got a 3D Mario and we can dump that whenever we want as well, like they don't care.
Yeah.
They've got to. I feel like it'll be the huff in the copium on Wednesday when it doesn't happen, but I'm like,
dude, if Mario doesn't show up on Wednesday, something went wrong.
Well, he's gonna be there for Mario Kart.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
As a Mario Kart
But
fan,
I mean,
that doesn't count.
yeah, I mean, Odyssey was shown at the original Switch reveal event.
With its solid 30-second trailer there, yeah.
Hey, we had a rooftop party. We were
That's
vibing.
still showing up.
We were vibing.
Yeah.
We were having the time of our lives on a roof, guys. It was pretty sick. There's got to be something. There's got to be something, Mario. Surely. I think same like kind of Odyssey release time, October, end of October. That's like your kind of big holiday game. They've got to have something for Black Friday. And Wonder only came out in 2023. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, it could be a 2D one. But I feel like we've only just had Wonder. So, what's that? Like I said before we started, Carl, what's that 3D team been doing, dude? They've been sitting on their ass since 2017. What have they been doing?
This is it, dude. Donkey Kong 64.
If it's a 3D Donkey Kong game, I am barreling
That's
out the window. No,
that's
take
what
it back.
I have written down.
No.
Is
3D
Donkey
Kong
game.
No,
with playable Funky Kong.
No, that's illegal. You can't do that. No, I don't want that.
Ethan's only upset because he's scared I'm gonna make it come true.
He's
Yeah.
scared of the truth.
I'm very scared of the truth, dude. I'm very scared of the truth.
Look, Mario's washed. Everyone loves monkeys.
True, I
true.
do like a good monkey. Maybe you've got a point.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
Donkey Kong was like half of the Mario movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. My thing is, it's like, Donkey Kong had one true shot at 3D, and it wasn't a good shot. Why are we shooting
It
again?
was
You know what I mean?
terrible.
Give him
I don't
another
know
2D.
because it could be better.
We've not had a 2D Donkey Kong game in forever. I think that'd be a great way. Is
That'll be
have a
what they
2D
do next
Donkey Kong
year.
game. No.
Fuck it, a new Donkey Kong every year, dude.
Yeah. The decade of Donkey Kong.
Oh, baby. Now we're talking. He's got that snazzy new redesign of Mario
2027,
Kart.
we're gonna have a remaster of Jungle Beat.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Bongos included, dude. Magnetic bongos, dude. Can you magnetically attach them to the side of the Switch? But
The Switch is the Switch is gonna have Joy-Cons that are slide-on bongos.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I'd be down for that.
Instead of a new Mario Kart on launch, it's just Diddy Kong Racing again.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd vibe with that. I'd vibe with that quite a bit. Obviously, it's like, what's interesting is, and it's kind of like, it's the one joy of having a new Nintendo console is we can finally dust off all these IPs that we've had a game since 2017, so they've been off the table. It's just like, it's nice to have everything back on the table, you know? It's like, I'm not expecting us to see Smash Bros. I'm not expecting us to see Animal Crossing. I'm not expecting any of that. But it's nice to be able to talk about them as if they exist again, you know? That you're not just sitting there going, oh,
Yeah.
New Horizons exists. We can't think about Animal Crossing for another 5 years. Like, we can start thinking about that stuff again. I'm just trying to think. In terms of RPGs, Nintendo usually likes to have an RPG.
I feel like whatever Square Enix's next step in the HD 2D, well, besides Dragon Quest, because we already knew about that, whatever the new thing to announce is for that, whatever they decide to do, I feel like that'll show up here. Whether it's probably not Octopath 3, but something, you know?
Dude, if we get it's not gonna happen, Chrono Trigger HD 2D, my yell will be audible from the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, right? I was thinking more first party, obviously, because they've got quite a few. And obviously, I think Monolith has literally just released X and has just released. I think it's too early for Xenoblade 4, whatever it is they're working on. I think there's probably a high likelihood that their games get a enhancement, especially X. But knowing Monolith, I think they're the kind of company that literally will just do all of them. They're all on the same engine. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, yeah, all of them are there. But I think, especially because I was kind of expecting it to be at last week's Direct, and this franchise wasn't there, Fire Emblem is probably like the most likely of the Nintendo RPGs to show up in the first
A lot
year
of what
now.
I've been hearing is like a Fire Emblem 4 remake. That's the talk that I've been hearing. So
Is that
either
the genealogy of the Holy Hoopla or whatever it's called?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting. It's been so long since, because when was Fire Emblem Engage? Was that 22?
23.
Age 23. I think Hunter's
23?
right.
Yeah.
And that game wasn't real anyway, so we can ignore that. So it's like, since they last properly tried,
It released
like,
in January. It's not real.
Since they last tried, it was 2019. So it's been a while.
About Fire Emblem Awakening remake.
I'd love that.
That'd be nifty.
I'd love that.
I'd love that. I'd love that for me.
I get it's like, obviously I wouldn't really be that interested in a genealogy remake. I'd be like, oh, that's cool, whatever, Awakening, that'd be something where I'm like, oh yeah, that's something that I would try. And then if it's a new Fire Emblem, I'm really looking for, and again, it's like we're just sitting there in the Persona Cope, just like, I'm just waiting for a proper Fire Emblem. You know what I mean? Where it's like we've taken what we learned from Three Houses and are actually moving forward. Because it's been so long, and it's one of those weird ones where again, you play Three Houses and you go, okay, the combat's kind of basic here, but I like what they're doing with the story, like, you know, the kind of the personification of the narrative of being able to hang out with different allies and stuff like that. It really enhanced the whole thing, and I'm like, I can't wait to see what they do next with that. And then for Engage to scrap it completely and just kind of have the worst story in a video game I've ever seen, and then I'm just like, where everyone's just like, he's the hero, he looks like a Pepsi card, and you're like, oh, that's great. That's great narrative right there. I'm just like,
We love you, Divine Dragon.
yeah, I'm just like waiting. I'm just sitting there hungry. I'm like, just need a new Fire Emblem that actually has a focus on story. Like, my God,
Yeah.
it's been so long. Three Houses is 6 years old. Like, my God, it's crazy.
It'd also be cool to see, like, I don't know, maybe like the Ike duology, Radiant Dawn and Path of
Yeah.
Radiance.
I don't know
If only
why I've
just to
always
like
been so
make them
curious
available.
about those, but if they did that, I'd pick those up. Make it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And again, games I've always wanted to try, but the secondhand market sucks.
Yeah.
Especially for a GameCube game and a late Wii game.
Oof. Yeah.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
Just a tad bit of an oof. And we're back. And less poopy looking. Like,
Yeah.
literally, it got to the point where Car was like a blurry mess and Hunter was just a freeze frame. So I was like, we need to change the server right now. But no, I hope to see something Fire Emblem. It's been a while. It really has, and it's weird because usually they don't let that series have a break. Everyone used to joke about that you know, Fire Emblem being everywhere all the time, and it has genuinely been quite a while. So
Yeah, it was like it was like a strategy Pokemon for a while where it just showed up
yeah.
and harassed you.
Hunter,
I
have
mean,
you
they
got?
still have their mobile game, so it's
Oh,
not like it's been doing nothing.
can't
But
forget the gacha, dude. Can't forget the gacha. Live in life for the gacha. Hunter, have you got some more predictions?
All right, what else do I got?
oh no,
Uh,
No, here we go. There's something stupid. Here we go.
oh no.
Mario Maker 3.
Oh no. Let it die.
Yeah.
Let it fucking die.
They have Odyssey or not Odyssey. They have Wonder to give you assets from now.
True. Yeah. It's weird, right? It's hard, like, in my head, it's like, because, yeah, Mario spin-off usually does happen within the first year. You had Mario Rabbids, obviously, in year one of Switch 1. Luigi's Mansion famously launched for the GameCube. There's usually something Mario
Famously.
spin-off-ish. I really don't want it to be Luigi's Mansion 4. Please do not be Luigi's Mansion 4. But it's weird. I don't know. Maybe would they do that? I don't know how well Mario Maker 2 did. They kind of killed that one off within like way too soon. They were just like,
Yeah,
and it gets
I don't
2
know.
patches and it's over. See you later. It was very weird.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what or why they did things with 2 that way, but I wouldn't be shocked to see them try something like that again, just because.
Mm-hmm. One prediction I have is that there'll be a big push on showcasing how they are actually doing third party this time. And what I mean by that is they're going to try and phrase it as if no compromises. You know, your Doom will not look
No cloud
gobbledygooky.
versions.
Yeah, no. So, for example, I would not be surprised if you see people. I won't be surprised if you see in. And I'm not saying they're going to put a main focus on this, but if there is a montage at some point where it's like, here are games that have released recently that are coming to Nintendo Switch 2. So, if, for example, I would give stuff like Persona 3 Reload or, you know, some of the new.
Metaphor ReFantasio.
Exactly.
Monster
Like,
Hunter Wild.
not that far. Let's not go crazy. But, you know, stuff like, I'm sure, maybe from Bethesda, maybe not necessarily Doom the Dark Ages, but maybe Doom Eternal and stuff like that, where it's like stuff that
Starfield.
you two can play that game.
Skyrim again.
Skyrim again. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
definitely.
Sign me up. But, you know, just stuff that has been missing for a little bit. I'm sure there'll be something along the lines of an Impossible port that people weren't expecting and be like, oh, that's coming. Will they actually pull that off? I don't know, maybe like a Cyberpunk or something where you're like, really? Is that gonna actually work? Did you see what happened with the PS4 version of that fucker? Like, come on, like you can't fool me. Um, but I'm expecting a bit of a shift. I'm expecting more than last time where it was just Andrew Wilson from EA saying we will have FIFA and Todd Howard going, who wants to play Skyrim?
We
Back
will
when,
have FIFA, and it will be the worst way to play.
yeah, and we won't update it after the second year. But I'd expect to see some third-party stuff, maybe some surprise, maybe something that you don't expect. Xbox will be there. Xbox will definitely be there. I feel like you'll have some game from Xbox. What that game is, God knows.
Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Banjo.
Forza Horizon or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. That's probably that one was on
That could
Xbox
work.
One. That could work.
The hilarious transition you could have going from Mario Kart to Forza would be hysterical.
And then to Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
Do you think we see anything? Because obviously we've got quite a few big IPs from Nintendo. They've got like what the big like 5. Mario and Zelda are always like, a guarantee, right? And then you have the other 3. I think one of these is a fake imposter and shouldn't be there, right? But usually when Nintendo's marketing stuff, they have the big 5: Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, Splatoon, and Pikmin. Liars, all of them. Pikmin, fuck off, dude. There's 5 Pikmin fans, and none of them are here, dude. Do you think we see anything from any of the other 3? Do you think we see anything Animal Crossing, Splatoon, or Pikmin? I am just laying Hunter up here for what I know he's going to say.
Yeah, I might as well keep speaking it into existence with the Splatoon 1 Deluxe thing.
Please, no. For the love of anything. But do you think we see anything Splatoon or Animal Crossing? That's the same development team. So do you think we see anything? Because Splatoon 3 was a while ago.
Well, yeah. But
obviously, they've kept supporting it, but those games go on live support. A whole team doesn't make the DLC content for that.
I'm not sure it's time yet, although I wouldn't have said that it was time for 2 when 2 came out yet, so
True.
who knows?
Very true.
Uh,
I don't think you see anything from any of them. I think there's genuinely going to be some people that are disappointed in this direct when I feel like there'll be people that are going in expecting Splatoon 4, expecting a new Animal Crossing, expecting a new Smash Brothers, and I don't think you're going to get like any of that.
I feel like some people went into the direct that we just had expecting that, and they're fools.
Yeah.
Neanderthals, even.
Those people are dumb, and we do not associate with them.
Ugly morons.
Yeah, what Hunter said.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for this year, I think it's a no-brainer. Next year, I think you'll see something next year, whether it is a Smash or maybe they do play, Animal Crossing comes out spring or summer next year to kind of, tie in that way to give it a new release. But I think in the first 6 months, it'll be Mario Kart, 3D Mario, Metroid Prime 4, maybe a Zelda port here or there, and try and sprinkle in a couple of smaller projects.
Fox.
Oh, fucking no, please. Kyle, no.
Punch Out.
I'd fuck with that. I'd fuck with a Punch Out.
Punch Out and the secret Donkey Kong boss this time can be an ARMS character.
Yeah, it'll be Min Min again because everyone loves Min Min. Has anyone else got some bold predictions? I've got a little funny prediction here. Is there'll be something there'll be something on the Nintendo Today app the following day that will make us say, why wasn't that in the Nintendo Direct? Like, whatever they announce the next day, we'll be like, why didn't they say that in the first place? Like, it'll just be something really dumb that'll be like, it's like what they did this week where they were like, hey guys, you might want to download this Nintendo Today app. And then the next day they make everyone scream in disappointment when they announce the Zelda movie's release date. Like, they'll do something like that where you're like, really? That wasn't there? That's a part of the TLDR? Like, what the hell? That's crazy.
To be fair, I would have, honestly, the date for the Zelda movie would have disappointed me more than the ending of the direct with the app.
True. Fair. Hunter, have you got any more?
Let's see here. Most of these are just kind of wishful thinking
Go for it. I love a bit
for
of wishful
my
thinking.
own. With
Why not, dude?
Ace
Speak it into existence.
Ace Attorney 7, I think that, you know,
Are we doing
that
this?
has
Persona 4
yeah, that
rerun. There we go. That definitely at the Nintendo presentation. Definitely
not
won't be at
that
Summer
one.
Game Fest in 3 months, dude. It's time right now. You're gonna see 4K Teddy on your screen, dude. On your screen. Teddy
Ace
Joy-Cons,
Attorney
dude.
has like history with Nintendo. That's where it was only at for a very long time.
Persona
So,
does
you
too. It
know,
had the Q games. Am I right, fellow gamers? We all remember. The classics.
Everyone's favorite.
And
and
Shin
then this one,
Megami Tensei, everyone's favorite.
more importantly, Hades 2 1.0 launch date.
That's crazy. They'll do you one
Yeah.
better. Hollow Knight Silk Song. Launch day.
You know, I think the
And
internet
also
would have
Delta
you
Runes to
believe that
round
that
us
would be the
out.
bigger
True.
one, but I think that Hades probably has the actually bigger audience.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting where it's like,
Yeah, Hades has something to show right now.
Yeah.
Is Hades too big for it though?
No.
For the
Because
Switch?
no,
For
for
the Switch 2, okay.
yeah,
For the
No.
Switch 2 announcement thingy,
yeah,
that's more eyes than will usually be on something.
yeah,
Like
but it's,
super giant.
Like the same losers that always watch Jeff's thing are gonna watch Jeff's thing this year. Like, I feel like you have a higher chance of more people looking at the Switch 2 announcement.
Yeah.
Whatever.
true. But I'm also just sitting there like, is Hades the kind of game where they would go, hey, here's a direct 2 to 3 months before the Switch 2 comes out. By the way, the 1.0 is coming out in 3 months. I feel like Hades 2 is the kind of game where they literally just go, by the way, 1.0 is out next week. Like they just go straight to it. I feel like building up a 3 months of this game's in early access, guys, for another 3 months is just kind of weird. I feel like they just go, bam, get it, get it while it's hot, fuckers. You're getting Hades 2 right now. Like it's a weird one. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. They do whatever they want usually. Like the first Hades announced its 1.0 date at a indie direct, if you recall.
Yeah,
So
100%.
there's that. They just shadow dropped to the early access completely last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is all just the wishful thinking that Hades 2 comes out at all this year. Who knows? Maybe they'll refine it for an entire extra year.
Who knows? Kyle, you got any dreams?
If we're just shooting from the hip right now,
Yeah. Bang bang.
speaking stuff into existence,
Yeah.
give me a new Sin and Punishment game.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
you
kidding.
can
That'd
just
be
go
cool.
blurry. Fuck you, become blurry.
No, stop it. You're
Explode
ruining
your
the
internet
quality.
connection
No.
with my mind. But no, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I
Sin and
haven't
Punishment is
touched that
rad.
IP in forever.
I don't even know whose hands the IP is in right now.
That's a good
So,
question.
but I enjoy Sin and Punishment. I liked it back on the Wii with Star Successor. And like I don't know how much of a place on rails bullet hell video games have nowadays, but I enjoyed it.
Maybe a
It's
montage.
fun.
Maybe a montage.
It's a good shout.
I'm just trying to think. Is there
How
anything
about
else?
you, man?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really. I don't know. I'm going into this with the expectations because we don't know a length or anything. They've not said anything about what this presentation, how long this presentation is. I hope it's not as long as the Switch one because that one really was fucking hit and miss. I really
That
hope that they
one-
don't bring anybody out in lab coats and really bad translations. That's my dream.
Oh yes, the in-character dissertations about the
Yeah.
game you're about to see.
If I had one, like, kind of dream that wasn't really me, like, begging for something, it would be I would really like to see a new IP on the launch list for, like, the first 6. And I don't just mean, like, a 1-2 switch, like, party game thing. I mean more of an ARMS, where it's, like,
Yeah.
weird first year, do something different to showcase the technology. That's what I would like, is to have something where, oh, cool, I didn't see that coming. I mean, my other dream is that they somehow make Game Freak video games not look like dog shit. That's another dream. Can they show me a Legends ZA trailer where it actually looks like a fucking functioning video game? That'd be cool.
Dude, if they show me 2 trailers for that game in the span of a week, I am flying to Japan and having words.
Oh dear. Death Stranding on Switch 2.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Just in time for Switch 2, you know, like just in time for On the Beach. They're like, On the Beach is out on PS5, but if you were buying a Switch 2, you can play the original on launch day. And I'd be like, oh no, what do I do?
You could re-experience it the way I did the first time, just from a blank slate with no roads.
Yeah. In its own little bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one, right? These are hard because it's not going to be a normal direct. They're going to spend 10-15 minutes talking about the actual capabilities of the device itself.
Yeah.
What comes after that is anybody's guess. All I know for certain is you'll probably get Mario Kart will definitely be there, and I don't know. My gut feeling is still that Metroid Prime 4 is still a Switch 1 game, and it'll have an update. There won't be a native Switch 2 version. That is still my guess.
I feel like they might still tell you the date here just because.
Maybe. I did think it was weird that they didn't do the date last week, because you think they just get it out, like rip the Band-Aid off at this point.
Yeah.
It looks
you would
done.
think so. Yeah.
It probably has been done for 6 to 12 months now, Nintendo, so it's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So yeah. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I guess we'll be here to talk about it next week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be there.
Yep.
Breaking it all down nearly a week after it came out. We'll be there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. But first, before we talk about the Switch 1 Direct, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to do something. Kyle, Hunter,
What's up?
I know you're sitting there and you're going, damn, I can't wait for the Switch 2 reveal, and I can't wait to have myself a Nintendo Switch 2. But you're thinking to yourselves, how on earth am I going to get a Switch 2?
You roll into a sponsorship ad.
No, it's going to be even better, dude. It's going to be even better. Now, I'm hoping...
Yeah, I feel like you're trying to sell me something right now.
I am. I'm going to sell you a course, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for a presentation. We've not done one of these in a while. How to get a Switch 2 100% guaranteed. Yeah, don't read any of the fine print. If there's fine print on these slides, do not read that, dude. Like, do not read it, okay? Do not read the fine print. But yeah, I thought, why not give everybody a little helping hand? If the pre-orders are next week, if they're the week after, let's give our wonderful audience of 100-odd people a better chance than everybody else. Guaranteed, 100%. Don't read the fine print. Very important presentation. By me, future Switch 2 owner. That's how you know it's real, okay? That's how you know it's real. It says likely 5% chance of getting a Switch 2. Ignore that bit, though. Ignore that bit. How do you buy a Nintendo Switch 2, ladies and gentlemen? How do you buy it? Anyone? Anyone got an idea?
Walk into the store and give the
caps.
dude some money.
Kyle, you're pretty close, dude. You just buy it.
Man.
You know, you just buy it. You just buy it. Yeah, you just buy a Switch 2. Like it's not rocket science, is it? But in this presentation, I'm going to give you 5 extremely useful tips to help you easily purchase a Switch 2 on launch day, dude. Easily. In the bag, dude. In the bag. Because I'm kind of based and I know what I'm doing. You know, that's all you need to know. I'm kind of great. I've done this before.
It's true. This is the
why should you? I don't know why Aku's here, dude. But why should you care about Switch 2? It's scientifically proven that old games rot your brain. This is a fact that we learned, obviously, in How to Beat Your Backlog from Chump to Champ in 2024. Okay, we learned this last year. That's a fact. Switch 1 kind of smells, you know? It's kind of bad, especially the Joy-Cons, dude. They've got no C button. You don't want them. Throw them in the bin, dude. And if you have a launch day Switch 1, let's face it, it's on death's door. It's not hanging around much longer, dude. Actual death's door, not the indie game, because I knew Hunter would probably say something about Death's Door, the video game, if I did not say that.
Death's Door is good.
Yeah. Why play a
Good
classic
game.
game on your Switch 1 when you can play Splatoon 1 again on Switch 2? You know, this is what we're talking about.
Now we're talking.
And this logo, fun fact, is a recreation of the leaked logo. I've seen it. It's being revealed on Wednesday, dude. That is the logo right there. You know, I got my best artist on that. So why should you trust me, Ethan, future Switch 2 owner, and my methodology on how to help you, right? I have successfully managed to buy all this shit on launch day in the past, dude. Now, could some people call this obsessive spending or bad money habits? Yes, I call it impressive, okay? I call it impressive. It's pretty impressive. I've been successfully getting consoles on day one for over 35 years because I've had the right grind set, ladies and gentlemen. That's just basic maths right there, okay? I have over a dozen
several years
collector's edition
older than
games
he is.
and controllers. Shut up. Dedicated. That's what I am. I'm dedicated, dude. As established in episode 209 of this podcast, I know how to beat a gaming backlog. New games only. That's why I get the new consoles. I only play new things. Old things suck, right? Now, a girl in high school once called me weirdly attractive. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm honest, dude. I'm only going to give you honest advice. That's it. You know, I'm just gonna give you honest advice, and that's how you can trust me. Look at that emoji. Perfectly honest. Now, one of these statements is a lie. Do you know which one is a lie, Kyle? Which one of these statements is a lie?
The second one.
No, you're wrong, dude. It's the last one.
You're not over 35.
Nope, it's the last one. I've never spoken to a girl in my life, but good guess, Kyle. Good guess.
Yeah, he's a Persona fan.
Yeah, I'm a Persona fan. Yeah. Ignore the fine print. Don't read the fine print.
He wasn't a Persona fan in high school.
It's true. I actually did have a better chance. And I'm not saying that if someone did say that to me once, that is not the cause of my anxiety. Not saying that. Anyway, tip number one. We're already on tips, okay? Tip number one.
Oh, we're finally at the tips.
Be ready for April 2nd, dude. Switch 2 pre-orders, likely to go up the same day, if not the week after, right? So you gotta be prepared, right? Some retailers are probably going to put them up during the Switch presentation, because let's be real, they're fuckers, dude. You're going to be sitting there, they're going to be talking about the magnets, and then it's up on target. You gotta get your eye on the ball, dude. You gotta get your eye on the ball. So, too long didn't read. If you're working, take a long lunch. Don't care if it's at 8 a.m. your time, take a long lunch. I don't give a shit, okay? You're having a long lunch. If you're off work, prepare for battle, dude, because you're in the best position, right? And if you're unemployed, lol, am I right? That's funny, right? It's sincere, though. Sincere tone. We're being humble here. We're being humble. And remember, jobs are only temporary. Switch 2 is forever. Fuck your job off, dude. Quit your job. Get a Switch 2 pre-ordered.
This is not financial advice.
Forever or until you drop it.
Tip number 2. Get a second screen, right? While you watch your Nintendo Direct on your crisp 28-inch 4K 144Hz gaming monitor, right? Very specific requirements there. Be sure to have your second, less crisp 1080p 144Hz gaming monitor ready with all the websites, right? Because it can drop at any time. So have everything on standby. These are very specific, right? You two need to be writing notes, okay? You need this. You need this. You need it. Pro tip, your mobile phone is better for watching a direct than actually looking at Target, okay? So if you've only got one computer and a mobile phone, watch the direct on the phone. That's actually genuine advice there, by the way. That's actual genuine advice.
Phones are always faster for some reason.
Yeah, but also you can't have multiple tabs open. Like, good luck scrolling between tabs, like, on your phone. So that's an actual pro tip right there. I'm serious. There's at least one good one in here, right? Have multiple retailers early. Again, right? Only chumps take a chance on one retailer, right? Don't be a chump. Find a bunch of retailers and make sure you've created accounts in advance, dude. This is all basic 101 normie shit, okay? Make sure you're ready. Another pro tip, actual pro tip, they put their pages up early. It'll say notify me or stuff like that. There'll be the link to the Switch 2 already there. Find the URLs so that if there's a virtual queue and you get through the queue, just paste the URL. Don't go searching. It's quicker. You've got your job done. All sorted. Obviously, all side. I don't know why Jack Black's there. I forgot I put that GIF there. I'm not going to be honest. I think the idea here was it looked like his pants are on fire and he's extinguishing them because like I said earlier in the presentation, I'm no liar, dude. My pants are not on fire. Extinguish that fire. I think that's what I was going for. I'm not going to lie. I forgot I put it there. Minecraft movie out in a couple of weeks. Tip number 4.
Stay tuned for our review.
Yeah, make sure all your details are filled out. Basic shit, Hunter. But why waste time fill lot word when few word do trick? You know what I'm saying, guys? Make sure you get your payment info and address on the fucking accounts. It's basic stuff. And here's an actual pro tip again, right? If you're on a website and you can't save your address, you can only put it in on the order screen. Put a random piece of fucking equipment, like, you know, go on Target, put a chair in your fucking basket and fill the stuff out and leave it there. The next day, add the Switch 2, remove the chair, your details still stay. This is how I got a PS5 Pro. Legitimately, that's what I did. Was I had a controller in my basket. I got it.
That hard to get a PS5 Pro.
Listen, this is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. But that's a genuine tip. Put something in your basket. Put all your dress, put your stuff in there. Come back the next day. Add the Switch. Remove the chair. Bada bing, bada boom. You've done all that. You've skipped all that extra stuff. Again, try and get 2. Why not? Fun. It's fun, isn't it?
This is not financial advice.
But the last thing you want, Carl, is a cancelled order from Target. I'm calling out Best Buy and Walmart here. They're bastards for this. They take way too many pre-orders. So, you know, get a second one in and then cancel it. You know, if you get yours confirmed, Bob's your uncle, cancel it. Or keep it and give it to a friend. Like, maybe me. Like, you know, maybe give it me. Why not? Tip number 6. Whatever you do, don't give one to Jack.
My man's out here catching strays.
I've come from the future.
Well, he caught the stray from last time, too.
I gave him a good photo this time, at least. At least he's got a good photo this time. He's looking very affable there, unlike the last one. I did him dirty last year, so I'm doing him one better. But I've come from the future, and spoiler alert, guys, he doesn't like the next Smash Bros. Shocker of the century, dude. They removed Toon Link, and they made Snake ass. It's just true. This is true. It's called Smash Bros. Forever, and it has 5 DLC seasons. The Nintendo Direct torture never ends, okay? So let's do Twitter a favor and remove one potential negative threat from the equation. Just don't let him have a Switch, dude. This is where I legally put that this is a joke, and I mean no ill intent. And here's the fine print that says I'll be the first person to try and make him be negative about the new Smash Bros. So there you go. Tip number 7. If you're in the UK, ignore all this, okay? Because it's mine. I don't want you fighting for the Switch too. Right? It's probably going to sell out quickly, so I wouldn't bother, because you don't need it, you know? You don't need it. I just sit back and gladly accept that someone who is more affable and deserving, again, that's me, future Switch 2 owner, okay? Just gets one. It'll be great, and you'll really appreciate it. Look, okay, United Kingdom not allowed. Ireland, fair play. I like Ireland, they're cool. They can have their Switch. You carry on. UK, no.
I like that above Ireland, it just says ocean.
Listen, this is a very important diagram, okay? I did not make this in paint, okay? This is very important.
I believe you.
This slide specifically reads like one of Ben Starr's Twitter posts.
Tip number 8. If all else fails, take one from a child.
I'm on
They'll
board with
only
this
use
one.
it for Fortnite anyway. They won't be missed, you know? Like, just fucking get that shit out of there. Yeet them off a cliff, Mufasa them. Just do what you need.
Just give them a
Play Fortnite
spoon
on
or
the
something.
phone.
We'll be entertained.
There you go. Anyway, any questions? Any questions? We all good? I feel like you've learned something there. I feel like I think I've passed some genuinely good advice there, to be honest.
I have a question.
Go on, Kyle. Yes, you had a question.
If at the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal event,
Yeah.
they show a Kirby game,
Mhm.
should I still try and get a Switch 2?
It depends on if it's a launch game. If it's a launch game, no, don't buy a Nintendo Switch. It's not worth it.
Okay.
If it's in like the first 6 months, then I guess that just depends on your financial standing. If there's no Kirby in sight, charge forward. You know what I mean? Steal that
Understood.
fucker from every child. Throw him off the Lion King cliff. You know, like just get him
Thank
out.
you,
of there.
sir.
No problem. Any other questions, dude? Any other
Thank you,
questions?
future Switch 2 owner.
Yeah, that's me, Ethan, potential future Switch 2 owner, and I
No,
would just
definite future Switch 2 owner.
definite Switch 2 owner, and I'd just like to remind everybody again that, oh my god, I
This
didn't
is not
realize I put this
financial
many.
advice.
This is not financial advice, but also remember that look at all these facts. This is why you should trust me. This was my favorite slide. I'm not gonna lie. I think I peaked a bit early, but it's pretty funny.
Just trust the weirdly attractive British man.
Yeah, that didn't hurt. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled programming, ladies and gentlemen. I realized I was like, oh, I feel like doing a presentation, and I realized it's been exactly 1 year since I disrupted the last a podcast to do a presentation. So I was like, oh, it's kind of fitting. There we go. Who knows? Maybe I should waste more of my time doing stupid them, but I'm not gonna do them that often, guys, because I think we need to cherish those memories forever.
Exactly.
You gotta cherish it. It's a gift, right? It's a gift. It was a good use of 45 minutes today, I'll tell you that. I had a great time.
You can't overuse the bit.
Yeah, but when it does come back, it comes back better than ever, dude. I think that's bad. Next
It was
year,
pretty
dude.
good.
Next year,
Yeah.
yeah. Next year, we'll go. Wait till you see next year's, dude. Wait till you see next year's. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, that was a fun distraction. Let's talk about the actual direct that happened this week. It's only been an hour. Let's do it. Ups, downs, in betweens, dude. Kyle, you have
Yeah, I think
graciously done us a service and have listed out everything. And we're just going to talk about what we really care about, really. We're not going to talk about
I
every
feel
little
like we
bit of
can
PC.
lightning round a lot of stuff here.
But
Like
this
Dragon
was
Quest 1 and 2 kicked off the direct. It's
still no
cool.
date. That
Still no
feels weird.
date.
I thought that's the kind of trailer where you get a date. So I was like,
Yeah.
it's a bit odd.
Oh
But-
well.
Oh well. It looks pretty. I'll give it that. It's like I keep seeing that game. I'm like, wow, this looks great. If you're one of those boomers that play old games, unlike me, new games only, you know, I'm like, oh damn, I can see you getting a bit of nostalgia from that. I like the art, HD 2D always looks fantastic.
It does, dude. It looks nice. I like it. Then after that, AI the Somnium Files. No sleep for
Oh.
Konami Date.
Oh,
What the
yes.
hell?
Yeah,
The
that came out of
second
nowhere.
announcement in the show, I was like, oh, this might be the best direct ever.
You can guarantee there'll be 20 million people that were like, oh, it's one of those directs, dude. As soon as the anime game shows
And
up,
those
straight away,
people are cowards.
Those people need to learn how to have fun.
So from what we know, it
No.
looks like it's a bit of a spin-off. It's set between 1 and 2, and my guess is it's probably like an Uncharted Lost Legacy situation. It's probably a shorter game that sits like in a,
Yeah,
not
I would
not as
expect
not as
so.
meaty, not as
Probably,
chunky.
probably fewer, if at all, any branching paths.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, like if it's in between the other two games, then all of the people we know are already accounted for.
yeah. What's interesting is, we talked. I can't remember. I think like we only talked about this a couple of months ago. We were kind of expecting an AI the Somnium Files game this year because, like clockwork, it's been 3 years. That's how long it took for
Yeah,
the last
just
one to show
about.
up. So, it makes
Yeah.
sense for it to be here. It was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, it quickly went from. I'm not saying it's gonna. I don't by any means expect this to be the best game that's been dated for this year to come out, but it's now my most anticipated game that's been dated for this year to come out.
It's still Death Stranding 2 for me, but hey, I'm still
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Only
Uh,
downside is it's not coming to anything other than Switch and Steam, which is a bit. I don't like this new precedent that Spike is doing because it seems they've been doing this a lot, and it makes sense, right? Especially for a Japanese company. Most Japanese players are playing on Switch these days. That's just kind of the way it is. So it makes sense for games like Raincoat and and The Last Line, blah blah blah, defense, blah bullshit. All these kinds of games to just be coming out on Switch and PC at first. But man,
it's most annoying because like my other two Somnium games are on the PlayStation. They go on different parts of the shelf.
I mean, you're just gonna have to wait,
Yeah.
aren't you? For
Yeah,
there'll be a PlayStation release at some point, probably a year later, like a Raincoat.
yeah, probably like a year later. Some disturbed part of my brain now wants to play that tower defense Danganronpa game and compare the two against each other.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Could make for an interesting experience.
I won't be doing that right away though, because that game comes out against other things.
But no, it was a pleasant surprise. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hesitantly optimistic. I feel like the messaging is a bit wishy-washy with how Japan's seems to be giving different information from the West, where it's like the West hasn't even said that it's a spin-off yet. So I'm like, okay, can someone just say what this fucking thing is? Can we have some expectations set? Just a tiny bit?
I don't know. I think part of the thing, before I even had confirmation, part of the thing that made it feel like a spin-off was the phrasing of the title.
Yeah, it's not called AI the Somnium Files. Blank it's blank and AI the Somnium. Yeah.
Yeah, No Sleep for Kaname Dape, a story from AI the Somnium Files, reads a bit differently than this is the next AI the Somnium Files game.
Will be interesting, yeah, but it is the next. It's weird. It's like because it is the next one. It's the same team that's making it, so it's weird. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, longer wait for AI 3 when that eventually comes out. But I'm not gonna complain.
No.
I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
What was up next, Cal?
Next up was, let me find the tab. Raito Remaster, Devil Summoner, Atlas Shin Megami Tensei.
Mm-hmm.
All those words belong in there in some order. You can
Yeah.
arrange them how you see fit.
I mean, this was
This
a
is
pleasant
cool.
surprise.
I'm glad Atlas is still keeping their stuff relevant.
Physical
and
releases for it as
available.
well. Physical releases
Yeah.
are confirmed for it, which is nice. It's just a shame that these three little indie games called Persona 1, 2, and 2 just seem to keep avoiding this fucking re-release hammer. They keep striking
Where are they,
everything
dude?
else. I'm just sitting there like, really? Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's cool, but I'm like, this before the original 3 Persona games? I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
My god. It's cool though.
Who knows,
It joins
dude?
SMT3.
Yeah. And again, it is nice to see it because I think like this was a late PS2 game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
So meaning very hard to find nowadays and a lot of money. So
And I
again,
appreciate
it's
that,
just
you
good to
know,
see it.
these smaller games from Atlas that won't necessarily ever be on the table for like a full-on remake, just to have them have a quality of life remaster that's just like, you know, do a bit of balancing, put some XP toggles and stuff like that in there, put it up on modern platforms and give it a physical release. It's just like, can't complain really.
Ideally throwing in an easy mode because old
Yeah.
Atlas games were very, very mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't complain. It's good to see.
Yeah.
We'll see if Atlas shows up next week. I have a feeling they're going to show up next week with something. It'll probably be Metaphor or Persona 3, but you know.
It'll be interesting. After that, we got another look at Shadow Labyrinth, that Pac-Man Metroidvania.
Got a date now.
I got a date, middle of July. I think this game looks really cool.
I think we're on two different sides. I think we're on two different sides of the same. I feel, to me, it's like to me it feels like it's like, oh, it's edgy for edgy's sake. Like it to me it feels like I feel like it's just it looks a bit dorky to me. Like I feel like other people are like,
I feel
but I can
like
understand why other people think it's cool. Other people are sitting there and seeing like Pac-Man beheading and like, oh, that's neat, and I'm just sitting there going, this is dorky as shit. This is like edgelord, like oh, what Pac-Man ate people's heads off.
I feel like they're doing that. It feels self-aware, like a parody kind of thing. I don't feel like they're doing edgy Pac-Man
it's not
sincerely.
Like Shadow the Hedgehog Pac-Man.
But like I feel like it's as far as experiment with the thing, be weird about it kind of deal. It could be cool. It'll probably be fine.
It'd be interesting to see where it lands.
My opinion.
I watched that trailer, and I wasn't too scared about my counterpick hunter. I wasn't too scared. I'm like, this is probably going to land somewhere in the 70s. If it's good. If it's bad, then it'll be in the 60s. But I'm like, I watched that trailer and like, I see the ceiling. And I'm like, okay, we're not having a Hogwarts Legacy situation here, dude. I think I'm safe on my counterpicks this year. Just a little bit.
I'll say this: they at least look like they're having fun with the idea that they came up with. Because like watching the the player character's arm turn into a giant Pac-Man and just eat someone, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
it is very funny. Goofy. Like I saw the whatever the show was called that this idea spawned
Secret
off
Level.
of. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that like a week before the first look at this came out, and I was like, well, that's hilarious, but okay. So the fact that they made a whole game out of the idea is kind of tickling.
Yeah. It's fun. We'll
Yeah,
see how it
it'll be
does.
interesting to see where it lands.
It's not too far away. It got pushed up. Originally, they were saying that it was like later in 2025, and it seems to be
Yeah.
coming out earlier than anticipated. So there you go.
All right. After that, we very surprising game. After that, we got a look at Patapon 1 and 2.
Yeah, so it seems like Bandai Namco are publishing or licensing Sony games. This seems to me, and I don't know how you read this, Hunter, is when Lego Horizon came to Switch last year, they had the old Sony logo instead of they're refusing to put PlayStation on these things. And I feel like this
Oh,
is just them going, Bandai, do you want to publish it so the PlayStation logo isn't so it
yeah.
feels like they're trying to do an Xbox, but they're trying to hide the fact that PlayStation games are going to other places, old ones anyway.
It's weird that they're trying to be sneaky about it because like Freedom Wars that came to Switch earlier this year
Yeah.
too, and that was a Sony Japan. Yeah, basically they're trying to
Also published
still
by
make
Bandai
money.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how they killed Studio Japan and now have exhumed its corpse to make more money.
I mean,
But
to me, it seems like
if
the
I
thing
can
with
play
idea.
Puppeteer again, that'd be nice.
It seems like they're basically licensing to ban. Obviously, we'll get to Everybody's Golf later, which is a new entry. But even with the remasters, it seems like they're like, hey Bandai, do you want to make us a port real quick? And I think that's just the way to go with some of these IPs. I don't actually disagree with this because PlayStation's sitting on so much IP, and Nintendo does the exact same thing. They have had a long-standing partnership with Bandai Namco to make games for them that they do not have the internal capacity to do. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with it really, and I think it's cool to see Patapon get a new home. It's also coming; those versions are coming to Steam and PS5 as well. Unlucky Xbox, but everybody else gets to have a fun time with their Patapon. But it's cool.
I think they do
it gives me some
like,
hope for other Japan studio games.
Yeah.
I'm mainly thinking, what a great opportunity this is for Gravity Rush. What a great! I feel like Gravity Rush on Switch 2, Gravity Rush 2 especially, fucking huge. What an opportunity that would be.
It'll be like it never left the Vita.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Pretty sick.
Goes right back to where it started.
But it gives me hope. Like, genuinely, that's what gives it does. Because what you got to remember also is in PlayStation Productions, for some reason, for a while, they've been working on a Patapon thing, like a movie or something like a little animation short film. So we've known about them working on and now they're re-releasing it. Makes sense. They are working on a Gravity Rush project as well. So that my new internal in my head theory is Bandai Namco is probably going to publish a Gravity Rush port to PS5 and Switch and PC at some point, and I will be coping on that for a long, long time. But no, Patapon's cool. If that game has a physical, I might buy it. Like on for Switch, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, do it, I'll buy it. I've always wanted to play Patapon. And I've never got around to it on PlayStation. And Switch is one of those. It's just one of those things where I'm like, Patapon on Switch just that feels like a good fit. It feels like a good fit. Yeah.
And that got a July 11th release date as well. So that's awesome.
Lots of things for
You'll
this.
Be playing it on your Switch too, ladies and gentlemen.
July
Patapon,
and
first
August.
Yeah.
After that, Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar, farming and marriage game.
What's interesting about this one? Yeah, trust me, if I had more free time on my hands, this is something that Ethan would very much one day would like to play, but I will never have time for any of these fucking things. And let's be real, when I get that itch, I'm straight back to Stardew Valley like the little fucking bitch I am. Like that's just where I go. That's where I live. But what's interesting about this is similar to this is a Story of Seasons remake of one of the older games that is also extremely valuable and is considered one of the best in the series, but it's not very accessible because it's on old consoles and it's really expensive to buy. So people are really hyped about this because it's a remake of a good one that a lot of people struggle to get a hold of. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully it's good Because with these games, the problem with these games is they all look the same, the modern ones, so I can't ever tell if it's a good port or a bad. You know what I mean? Where it's just like it
Yeah.
looks like. I hate to say it like this, but it kind of looks like a cheap remake project to make. So I'm like, I can't tell if it's just intentionally janky or if that's just a bit of a rush job. But hey, knock yourselves out, have fun.
Aye. And you can also knock yourself out and have fun with some Metroid Prime 4.
Called it. Fucking called it. I am. This is my redemption year, Hunter. This is my redemption year. Not only am I gonna whoop your ass in the Fantasy Critic, that is just a fact. Get ready. But
True.
for 18 long fucking months, I have said that Metroid Prime 4 will just be a Switch 1 game. And I'm still rolling. I'm pretty certain, dude. You might get an enhancement little patch or whatever, but I'm like, why would you not put Metroid Prime 4 in the Switch 2 Direct? Why wouldn't you do it? Because it's a Switch 1 game, bitch. Lock it in. Lock it in, baby. That purple suit's pretty cool, though. I like the purple. I'm a big purple fan.
Yeah,
They're bringing me back in. I'm going to buy this game.
The
I
suit
see
at the
purple,
end
I
of the
buy.
trailer was really good with like the black
Yeah.
and the red and the purple accenting. That looked sick.
Black and red is a powerful
dude.
color combination.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sure is. But
This game looks gorgeous. It really does.
Yeah, it looks great. Samus looks so shiny.
Yeah.
like impressively shiny. Like
Maybe that's why this was in development for so long.
yeah, that's what I'm
They're like,
saying.
how
Over
shiny
here
can
looking
we
like
make her?
Clank from Ratchet Rift Apart.
Yeah. But the Metroid Prime 1 remaster was so good looking. I didn't click with it, unfortunately. Maybe one day I will give it a try again. Because let's be real here, I hit one fucking roadblock and I was like, fuck you. And then never went back.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, you
like-
didn't really give it the good try.
I gave it 45 minutes on that checkpoint that I got stuck on, and then I wanted to throw my Switch. I was like, that's enough of that. But I was like, maybe I'll go back to it at some point. But I'm definitely willing to try Metroid Prime 4 because I feel like a lot of the teaming issues I have with the original Metroid Prime are things that a modern entry might try and alleviate. So I'm willing to give it a go.
Like
Especially-
the checkpoints.
Yeah, exactly. It looks cool. It looks good. It looks like it's following in Metroid Dread's footsteps and having
Yeah.
proper voice acting and stuff like that. So it's like it's cool.
Yeah. Dude, a
cautiously
game
optimistic.
with a game with good telekinesis powers too is
Mm.
so satisfying. Control absolutely shreds when you just catch something out of the air right before it hits your face. BioShock, same deal. Just catching a grenade right before it hits you and sending it back. That's the good
Dude,
stuff. Can't wait to
showing
do
off
that
in
with
the
Samus.
trailer, showing off in the trailer that you can control her shots
That's cool.
with
yeah.
the psychic powers.
It's like the remote controlled missile from Metal Gear.
That was
Mhm.
pretty nifty.
The exact animation that it reminds me of is I can't remember what the name of the gun is, but there's a rocket launcher in the first Ratchet and Clank game that you can kind of home like that in the exact same way, and it slows down time a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's sick. It's a good mechanic. I like that quite a bit. No date, just 2025 still. My guess is August. That'll be my guess. I'm gonna go with an August date. That's where I'm thinking. Right in between the Marios. That's my prediction in the timeline. And I do hope that as much as I joke about it being a Switch 1 game, I do hope there is a Switch 2 port because that game looks great on Switch 1 hardware.
Yeah.
Samus can be even shinier.
Yeah, exactly. 60 FPS on Switch 1, it looks like. Impressive. That's
Wow.
genuinely impressive.
That's
was
why it took 7,000 years to make.
So was one
do you
remastered, but that was a GameCube game, so yeah, like, fair play.
Yeah, I think it ran 60 on the GameCube.
Mhm. Exactly.
I was just gonna say, do you think they might be withholding information and that they were running that trailer on Switch
No.
too? Okay.
I think people would get pissed off. I think everything that I saw in that trailer looked like to me. It was like it looks very pretty, but I'm also sitting there going. A lot of people are going, "Oh, it must be on Switch too because it looks so clear. Look at every other Switch game," and I'm like, it's a first-person shooter designed specifically for Switch 1. Completely believable to me that runs on Switch 1.
Mhm.
It's not Xenoblade,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. They're not having to render a massive world. You can cheat so much. Why do you think that, let's be real here, first-person shooters, in terms of obviously I'm not counting like a lot of the PS3 era ones, but a lot of old first-person shooters like Half-Life, even stuff like Portal in art direction, they hold up so damn well because you're so focused. You can cheat so much in a first-person shooter because everything that's in the distance you will never go to. They can be skyboxes, they can be made of witchcraft and voodoo. You do not have to worry about it. So yeah, it can very much be made for Switch 2, Switch 1 rather, and I think it is.
Just something I thought about. I was curious to get your guys' take on it.
I don't think they're Ubisoft. I don't think they're Watch Dogs. They're not Watch Dogs in us right now. They're not doing that.
After that, Disney Villains Cursed Cafe.
Fuck off.
I watched this and went, I sure wish they were showing me Coffee Talk Tokyo instead.
Be like, man, I can play Coffee Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Disney Villains Cursed Cafe is out right now.
Like,
Day and Date Hunter.
I'm about to be out of my window right now.
I just don't
Are you going to be out your window on a broomstick for Witchbrook?
Maybe
this I can kind of vibe with.
If I like these kind of games, it looks like it would be something that would be, you know, like this is something I'd show my friend that likes these games, and
there's a part of me that is a little bit. I don't know if this is me being a little bit pessimistic, but obviously this is from Chucklefish. Well, Chucklefish are publishing it, who originally published Stardew Valley and then Concerned 8 took over publishing by himself. And there's almost a sense of it in my head where I'm like, is this okay? We need our give us an equivalent to his Wizard Stardew Valley, like Retribution, which looks like a fun game. Don't get me wrong, but there's a little part of me that's like, is that what they were going for? Was that the pitch meeting where they were like, I don't know if this is published or developed as well.
Mean, I don't think that would be the case, because from the chatter about this that I heard, yesterday and whatnot, apparently this game has been known about in some capacity since like 2017.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, man.
It's been a while that this game has been in the works. What's the game that I'm thinking of? The art style, the art style very much reminded me of a game, and I can't remember what it is, but I like the art style quite a bit. It's a nice little.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
it did look really good. I know what you're talking about. Like it looks familiar to me too.
The
similar game.
No, there's the isometric camera angle with the way that the bodies were shaped, like the way that they looked very similar to a game that I can't remember. It's like it's almost got like obviously this isn't a pixel art game, but it's almost got that isometric angle, and the way the characters are almost remind me a little bit of Hasbro Hotel, like in a way, like just the way everything is like the blocky kind of way they are and the way they look, which is weird because I've never played Hasbro Hotel or have any recollection of it other than the infamous stories you hear about that game, right? Like other than that, I've got no. But yeah, it looks fun. It's one of those games again where if I had more time to check stuff out, I definitely would be checking it out. But I feel like this year is just going to be swamped with games that I really want to play. Yeah. I'm expecting Death Stranding 2 to take up a month of my life, so it's like,
just in time for Konami to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
No sleep for Ethan.
No sleep for Ethan. Future Switch 2 owner.
Yeah.
A story from HGO. Anyway, what's next?
The Eternal Life of Goldman. I honestly can't remember what this one was.
This was the hand-drawn like 2D game that looked like a hand-drawn Gumbrella to me, where you're like replacing parts of this guy's cane and doing platforming stuff and modifying the abilities.
Okay.
So it tickled the same itch that, Gunbrella did, because goofy weapon that you're using to traverse and stuff.
Thank you, Brain.
Yeah.
Hunter is our brain. He is the podcast brain.
Hunter will be drafting that in the fantasy league.
I don't know, maybe. But it looks neat. I'd give it a try.
Fair play.
After that, Rift of the Necrodancer got put on Switch.
Already out on PC.
I didn't realize that it wasn't on Switch to begin with.
It was originally.
I'll do you one better. I didn't realize it came out already.
It's on my fantasy draft, so yeah, it's out.
I know. I forgot.
I think the cool thing about this announcement was that obviously the Celeste pack is out day and date, and then you've also got Pizza Tower coming, which is obviously fantastic. Fantastic soundtrack. So that's
I
perfect.
was
For,
I was watching this at work, so I like looked over and I was like, "Rift? What do you mean Rift of the Necrodancer wasn't already on the Switch?" And then I like had to look away for a second, and I looked back and I'm like, "Whoa, hey, it's battling!" That was great.
Pepino.
Again, another game that I probably would like if I had time for it, because I love rhythm games.
Yeah. After that, Tamagotchi Plaza.
Right.
A game that I don't think we need to spend much time on because
No,
it got overshadowed by something else in this direct.
Is it Tamagotchi? I've always known it as Tamagotchi. So why the fuck was the narrator like Tamago? Was it like? Is it because of Tamagotchi Life later, where they like tried to properly separate it as much as possible? They were like, right, spread the syllables.
Maybe that might have thinking about it retrospectively. I think saying it like that that might have legitimately been the reason, because I've always heard it as Tamagotchi as well.
Yeah, same.
You know,
The adverts used to say Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they got a weird like
Like
copyright thing.
I
and they're
think
like,
I think
"Change
it's
your
I think it literally was
pronunciation."
because Tamagotchi Life sounds so similar.
Is it
they're like-
Balatro or is it Balatro?
Who cares? That's all I have to say about the game. I don't remember what it looked like, but you know, that was my only contributing factor.
Yeah, like we like we said, it got overshadowed by something very similar at the end of this direct. So pour one out for Tamagotchi. Speaking of pouring one out, Pokemon ZA showed up again.
I can't believe they've harassed me with this game like 2 times within a month.
Next
We can
one's
make
on
it 3 next
Wednesday.
week.
Let's make it 3. Yay!
That's the nice thing about these Pokemon games is usually they have the decency to stay in their own little corner.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you guys, I feel like Pokemon doesn't really show up a lot in Nintendo Directs.
Here's the thing.
Usually just feels like they have their own direct in April or in February,
It's
and then they just
usually-
Hear me out.
disappear.
This is
often enough
Hunter,
to annoy me.
I've got an actual reason. I had to think about this because obviously I don't sleep, so I just sit
Alright.
there and I think about it. I'm like, why would you
Thought
show?
about this
Why
while he was
would
making
you
his
sit there
slideshow.
and you would do? Yeah, obviously. And I was sitting there. I was like, why would you do this again? In my head, it kind of made logical sense when it's like, this is a Switch One game. Obviously, we're not having that argument about this game. It definitely is a
Yeah,
Switch One
no.
game.
Nothing's being hidden there.
Arguably,
What you got to
a
think
3DS
is,
game.
think about it, right? Where would Nintendo usually show this after a Pokemon Presents? E3, their June showcase would be where they usually would show this thing next. That's going to be right bang in the middle of Switch 2 launch. So my guess is they're getting it. They won't be showing this again until like after the Switch 2's launch. My guess is they wanted to get in some more information now because we're not going to see this game again until like July. That they're literally just going to do. This is like because from Wednesday until the Switch 2 is out, that is Switch 2 go. Like that is literally what we're going to focus on. That's why Tamagotchi Life and we'll get to Rhythm Heaven. That's why they're probably both 2026. They're literally just like, we'll advertise them later when we've got time. We've got to start paving that runway. For
My other thing is that was this information not something they could have just told you a month ago?
I mean, they could have.
But they need separate story beats, right? And I think that I'm not gonna lie that the evening that here's the thing, right? Is I won't lie. The idea of the nightlife becoming fucking battle, you know, could becoming like Pokemon the Purge. Yeah, that's kind of sick. I'm like, oh, finally something that makes me slightly interested in this game because everything so far has been looking to me like a lesser version of Arceus, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool little mechanic that I can at least appreciate. I'm like, oh, that's something I can see myself actually doing in this video game for the first time. So fair play. Yeah. I still think it looks like ass, and I still wonder why the fuck you take away the historic setting. But you know, Pokemon's got a Pokemon, I guess. New megas, dude. They've all been leaked, so who cares? No surprises. No fun. No.
Boo.
Well, speaking of surprises, Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Fuck yes, finally.
Welcome
Nintendo's
back, Rhythm Heaven.
Again. Where the fuck were you in 2024, Rhythm Heaven? Where were you? Oh. Dude, that's just a good
because
feeling.
of the art style of like the first 10 seconds of this thing. thought it was like Deltarune or something because of like
Mm.
the simple character sprite on the
Dude,
black background. I
I
was
was
like, huh?
thinking WarioWare.
I've never played. I own the 3DS Rhythm Heaven,
Mhm.
and I've never played it because I've wanted to play it, but I've never got around to it. And I could just tell as soon as that little that little character showed up straight away. I think I instantly put it in the Discord like Rhythm Heaven. It's Rhythm Heaven. Like just instantly, the art style was like, oh my god, they're actually doing a Rhythm Heaven. Thank fuck for that. We've had 2 WarioWare games. They're finally doing a Rhythm Heaven. Oh my god, that's sick.
I saw later on that apparently the reason it'd been on ice for so long was because the composer was dealing with like health issues
Oh
for
really?
a
Damn.
really long time. Yeah. So it's like
Good
a real
to
big deal that this is coming back because it means
yeah,
he's good to go.
and it looks fantastic. Like genuinely, just like I mean, like it's stuff like this where it's like I don't know. It's been very clear that Nintendo has been on ice for the past like 2 years. Like it's just like the brakes have been on. Like since Tears of the Kingdom and Xenoblade and all that jazz has kind of left the station, they've been on ice, right? You know, you've had fun games. Don't get me wrong. Like Another Code has come out, and there's been a load of like smaller projects. But usually this is the time for the quirky stuff to come out, and it's really been more of the just like not just cool stuff. And I'm like, finally, the quirk is here. A little bit of Nintendo quirk. It's coming in 2026, but who cares? I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. They're like little treats
Yeah.
now. Switch 1 games
Yeah.
while the Switch 2 is out, because that'll have its own lineup. Little treats to look forward to.
Yeah. That
good
must have been
stuff.
how they rationalized making 3DS games when the Switch was out.
I would have given a shit though if they ported Woolly World to the Switch, Hunter. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah, I know,
they
right?
port Woolly World now for Switch 1. I'm like, at least I can play it on my Switch 2, Like, at least it's on the same thing. I can thrive a little bit.
Oh, man. Give me Woolly World. Woolly World 2, that's a new prediction for the Switch 2 Direct.
That sounds... I'd hit that. But yeah,
Ye-
I'm happy that Rhythm Heaven's back. It's one of those little things where I'm
Yeah.
like, I've missed this. Like, I've missed Rhythm Heaven. I've missed, like, even, like I say, I haven't booted it up, but just I've listened to the Rhythm Heaven music a lot in the
Oh,
past.
yeah.
And it's like,
I've
the
I've
soundtracks
heard
are
a few
so
of
good.
them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The soundtracks are
And I
so
feel
good.
like in Rhythm Heaven itself, I feel like that's gotten like a lot of longevity just out of the internet and
Word of
artists
mouth,
doing
yeah.
stuff with the
Yeah.
IP.
Wow,
Because like
100%.
how often do you see the people's own interpretations of the games? Like
Yeah, it's like
the guy kicking the balls while he's on a date, the the interview with the wrestler, the monkey watch,
Yeah.
yeah.
all that fun stuff.
Like, it's been a while since I've watched a direct, and that's why I really liked this direct. Was there's a
Mm.
load of smaller stuff in there, but it's the first time where I've actually been going, I'm gonna buy that, I'm gonna buy that, I'm gonna buy that. Like there's actual stuff here on my Switch where I'm like, oh cool, I'm actually interested in this stuff. I will be buying that. That's cool. Whereas most of the time I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll see how it does. Like, Another Code. I'm like, I might try Another Code out, but I wasn't sitting there going, I'm gonna buy that. Like this is where I'm like, yes, Rhythm Heaven, day one, instantly. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
happy. Big rhythm game fan. And anyone that doesn't
hell
like
yeah.
it, fucking loser. Bad opinion.
I'm
I
happy
think everyone
for
was
you,
pretty
dude.
happy. I think everyone was pretty happy. I saw the Twitch
Oh
chat.
yeah.
Everyone was pretty pretty happy. Pretty hype.
Yeah.
Except for the 30-year-olds on YouTube who were like, mid-direct, question mark? This
Mid-direct,
isn't
yeah,
Mario.
stupid. Like that's the hilarious thing about the people saying that this direct wasn't anything above average. I was like, truthfully, the only game that like really, well, besides Metroid, that I was like super jazzed for was Somnium Files. But like, I can recognize that these other ones are a big deal to a lot of people. You
Yeah, the
know,
amount of conversations that I've heard where people are like, "Oh, is Tomodachi Life really a one more thing?" And I'm like, "Dude, did you see the Twitch chat? Yes, there is a lot of people that specifically grew up with Tomodachi Life who are fucking buzzing because we never thought we'd get another one of
like
these."
two
Like,
days before this direct happened in a Discord server I was in, someone was like, "I'd love to see another Tomodachi Life
yeah,
show up on the Switch." I was like, "Yeah,
that's what I
congratulations, you had the gift
think.
of prophecy."
I think the world would be a bit of a better place if One More Things became little treats like that instead of everybody holding their hopes up for the next Zelda or the next Mario every fucking time.
Smash Bros.
Yeah, just to
Dude,
have
Nintendo should just start doing what they do for the indie world things and ending on a sizzle reel.
No, please do not start doing that. But you know,
before
little treats,
before
little treats.
Tower at the end of last year's, or for the last one they did last year, like the last 2 years of indie directs was
Yeah.
sizzle reels.
And that's
It
all
was
for today,
hilarious.
folks. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I was like, they got to stop doing this.
seriously.
Uh,
What was
Well,
next,
speaking
Cal?
of sizzle reels, we had one in this direct.
Yeah,
They showed High on Life in a game
God,
called
that
King
was...
of Meat. So
Can't
King
remember
of
King
do
of
with
Meat is a
that
Meat.
what you will.
hilarious
High on
title.
Life is this game that was so like one, it looked really ugly on Switch, and that game's already not a good looking game. And I was like, oh
It
fucking
always
hell,
looked ugly.
fucking hell.
Looks as ugly as it sounds now.
No offense, and this has got nothing to do with the fact that Justin Roiland was originally involved, and you know how that ended up. It's not even to do with that. It's just with I thought that game was so unfunny and so boring. Like I remember my first impressions were like, it's all right, and then I played another half an hour, and I'm like, it's not, and then I uninstalled it.
Mute button.
Yeah, like it's you know, it's 2010's humor.
Yeah.
It's the I'm a talking
Yeah.
gun, I'm gonna talk a lot, and you can't stop me, and then that'll be the joke for the next half an hour, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Having a gun talk to you with the Morty voice for an entire video game sounds like psychological torture that should be outlawed by the Geneva Convention.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sizzle reels got a sizzle. You know, it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's you know, it was inoffensive. It was an inoffensive sizzle reel. You know, it wasn't like 16 farming games back to back to back, so I can't complain.
I mean, I'd rather the farming games be set in the sizzle reel than get their own segments.
True.
I think the only reason I put this down in my notes was because High on Life was the first thing they
Yeah.
showed. And
Not
I'm
bad
like,
start,
oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
And then I did remember King of Meat's title. I can't remember what it looked like at all, but I remember that title and
me
having
either.
to laugh.
Hell yeah.
After that, Saga Frontier 2 got a remaster that was also released on the day of the direct. Big ups to
Boomers
anyone
rejoiced, dude. The
excited for
oldies
that.
they rejoiced that day. I have no fucking clue what it is, but fair play, lads. Fair
I
play.
also
Have fun.
don't, so good job. I'm happy.
Godspeed.
I'm happy for you, or sorry that happened to you.
Stop bitching about Tomodachi Life. You got your old person game, dude.
And then
Old folks home's buzzing. Sorry, I'm being mean. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
We get it, dude. You hate old games.
New games only, dude.
Get a second personality trait.
Fire emoji.
After that, they showed Monument Valley 1 and 2, along with the announcement of the third game.
My favorite comment on this was me going, I didn't realize there was a second, dude. That was
now a third.
Yeah, or
I didn't know there was a first.
That was my favorite when I was like, I didn't even know they did a second one, and then they announced it. I was like, or a third. And I was like, yeah, there you go. And then Carl's like, I didn't know this existed. I'm like, yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Monument Valley originally was like an iOS game. Yeah, it was an
iOS games. Yeah.
I played the original one on iOS. It was all right.
That's
I
cool.
liked it.
It's cool. It's nice to see. Like I said, it's nice to see that stuff get pulled out of digital purgatory.
It reminds me, again, it very much reminds me of, you know, it's that era of kind of indie games, you know, the Journey era of just like kind of experimental little weird things that, you know, have a vibe to them. And I'm like, yeah.
Just walk around and be
Yeah,
evocative.
just kind of ethereal kind of essence to it. And I like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's got a lovely art style. It's a really pretty game. If you haven't played them,
For sure.
for sure check them out.
And speaking of ethereal, Everybody's Golf is coming to the Switch.
Fuck yes.
To save the golf game library of the Switch.
Again,
Mario Golf cannot be the legacy.
Yeah.
Really is. Like, I respect this strategy. If this is what they're doing now, I really respect this strategy. It's dormant IPs that you know they're never going to actually fucking use to save their life. Send them over to somebody that wants to work on them.
Just at least let other people play them, you know? Let other people use them if they want.
I also think this is genuinely perfect opportunity to, one, use that older IP, especially because it's like no one cares if these games go to Switch. No one's going to cry that, you know, Patapon or Everybody's Golf are moving over to every other platform. But it tests the waters and it's a good start, you know, especially for remasters, you know, gauges a little bit of interest. Hey, maybe we can make a new one of those because it turns out that, hey, the Switch plays really fucked with Patapon.
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect thing to do. I think it's a good middle ground. I think you're not going to have the people like the Xbox fiasco right now where it's day and date. I mean, I'm of the opinion now where I'm over, like, I just play games to play games. I don't care where they are at this point,
Yeah.
Nintendo's never
Yeah.
going to change, so I'm stuck buying a Switch. But, if God of War, next God of War came to PC straight away, I want to buy an island. I don't give a shit. I think it's just cool. Do it for more stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially if it gives me PS5 ports. I like that. Give me more PS5. More trophies. More trophies. Can you port
Yeah,
Sly
most
over to
importantly.
can you do a Sly collection over for Switch and then report them over again? I need more
That'll be the
trophies.
hilarious thing to start watch happening is that they just start licensing out like old I can't wait for the Switch to start getting the whole Siphon Filter series piece by piece over the next 2 years.
That'd be so funny. I genuinely
That
love
would
that.
be so funny. And
Guys, you've
eventually the
asked,
Switch
we've
just has a
listened.
better the Switch has a better classic library than the one that they've presented to us
Yeah,
on the
hell yeah.
tier 3 of the subscription. Yeah.
But no, this looked like it looked like Everybody's Golf. Obviously, it's not the
Yeah.
same developer that used to make Everybody's Golf because they make their own thing now. But again, Bandai's pretty trustworthy enough. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, seems like it should do what it should for the people who want it. I might grab it because, Mario Golf, not the greatest thing in the world.
Hell yeah.
And then closing off the direct for game announcements was Tomodachi Life.
There is a god.
Ethan,
Fucking
take it away.
yes, mate. Fuck yes. I don't. Tomodachi Life to me, I love how he's just fucked off. He's like, I don't even care about Ethan's opinion on Tomodachi Life, and I'm like, fair play to be honest. But it's one of those games. It's one of those late 3DS games that just, again, saw people playing it on YouTube or whatever. Saw a YouTube video, and it's just so stupid. It's so like. It's a tech demo-y video game, right? It's like there is no real point to Tomodachi Life other than make some Miis, chuck them on an island, and they live their life, and you're like God. Where it's like you check in their apartments, and you like, they're like, I'm hungry, and you feed them food, and they'll tell you if they like or they hate the food, and you can figure out what their favorite foods is. It's all a meta game about being God, and you see, they get into relationships, random hijinks happen. They'll have
Yeah,
nightmares. It's like just watching over
like the
everybody.
Nintendofication of the Switch or of the Sims or something.
Yeah, basically it is. And it was so absurd. It was so dumb. It's just really fun to, even if you don't make your own, there was a whole in-game system where you had QR codes that you could scan so that you could get other people's Mii's, or you can download Mii's that people made. It's just really fun going, oh, what characters do I want in my world? And you'd start adding
Yeah.
your own friends, and then you just add random characters from games that you like or random shows, and just see what they get up to, dude. And you get the weirdest friendship. It's just such a weird game, and it's like it's always had a really cult audience. Like it's just that game sold really well for what it was, like extremely well. And people have just kind of been craving for it. And when we were getting ports of like Miitopia and stuff like that, you're like, why are you porting that when you got like Tomodachi Life? Just port Tomodachi Life. So to get a new one is kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that's sick. Cool.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that. And it looks like it's still going to be as weird and just weird as it was before.
The giant lady.
Very
the
funny
end.
with the deep voice.
Yeah.
Very funny. Absolutely funny. And I think, the game came out in 2014, I think, Tomodachi Life. 14 or 15, I can't remember off the top of my head. But, there were some things that kind of made it dated. There was some little bits and pieces that could be updated a little bit, make it a bit more
2013
modern.
in Japan, 2014 in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And they were like a year apart.
Mm-hmm. And, there's little bits and pieces, like relationships were restricted to, you could not have same-sex relationships and stuff like that. It's like there's little bits where it's like it came out in 2014 and there are things that you think probably should have been changed for the Western release and just never were. So it's like, hey, it'll be
Now
nice.
they will have these changes, and the West is going to be mad, and Nintendo is going to be like, we don't care.
We don't care. We don't give a shit. But yeah, it's the kind of game where you just realize you're like, oh no, why has one of my best friends from high school married Ronald McDonald and what the fuck is happening here? You know, it's just like random hijinks that happen, and then all of you can make musicals. You can literally write words to lyrics to songs, and your Mies will sing them. There's random news reports. There's just so much random stuff. Just it is like trashy reality TV in a video game, like me kind of thing. You can just you're just stalking people. You just go to the beach at night. You can see someone's proposing, and then you can see them get rejected, and then they'll be depressed, and then you're just sitting there feeding them their favorite food as if you're like that. You're like fatten up as your coping mechanism. Like it's just like goofy stuff like that. I'm very happy to see it. It's good to have Tomodachi Life back. I will be buying it. I will be playing it. I will be making everybody. Yeah.
Will you be streaming it?
I don't know. It's a weird game. It's real time, so it's like I've got like 30 odd hours on Tomodachi Life on 3DS, but I played it over a really long period of time. You should just play it for like 10 or 15 minutes a day, and then just leave it, and then come back the next day. It's a good. It's not a mainstay. It's a good supplemental game where you just check in every day or two.
The way you describe it, it sounds like one of those like. It sounds like all of the goofy bumpers that you would see in like wacky slice of life anime.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I mean?
They go to a water park, something funny happens, they fall off the slide, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like the one show where I saw this in a GIF for a really long time, and right now the name is escaping me, but I started watching the show where it was like teachers suplexes a deer or something.
Well, yeah,
sounds like the same energy.
Yeah, 100%.
I was thinking like the fishing episode from the Persona 4 anime.
It's just one of those things where you'll just show up. You've not been on for 3 days, and you're like, why the fuck are 3 people in an apartment shirtless just hanging out? Like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, what is happening? I did not sign up for this. Like, you just like random stuff like that. It's a goofy fun. Again, late stage Nintendo. This is what they should be making instead of just porting shit all the time. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
They could have very easily have just ported the original Tomodachi Life though to make a new one. It's pretty cool. We'll see how it pans out. But it wasn't the last announcement, Kyle.
Correct. Closing off the Direct was the announcement of what's essentially a Nintendo News.
Yeah.
With
I'm not gonna lie. When Miyamoto came out and he was like, "We've been doing Nintendo Directs for ages," I'm like, "Oh my god, are they shooting? Is this it? Is this like
they're gonna execute Miyamoto?
Yeah, they're putting Nintendo Directs down, dude. They showed Iwata and everything. I was like, oh no, please don't get rid of Directs. Don't be like, oh, we're naming it something different. But no, it's a news app.
Yeah, and I saw this pointed out over on Blue Sky today, but the fact that like Twitter's algorithm is just complete dog shit now, and how it just pushes everyone else's posts way down if you're not in the club.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Nintendo would be like, we're just gonna make our own news app. We're not gonna deal.
Yeah. For as much as we were clowning on it in real time as the Direct was ending, I understand the reason why it's happening. Nintendo's sick of having to, play with everyone else.
I mean, I downloaded the app.
Nintendo does.
I downloaded it because I wanted to check it out and see how it works. And it's like, it's literally just, it's like a news feed. There's some fun facts and there's articles and stuff like that. They're just posting about the games and stuff like that, which I think is cool. What I think is really cool is there's a calendar on there. And it'll show you where the directs are and stuff like that, what's upcoming. I'm hoping that they'll start to populate that with game releases. And I think that's a really cool way of people to go, oh, okay, what's coming out on Switch next month? And even if it is just the main first-party Nintendo games, you can at least go, okay, there's something there, there's something there. I think I think the app's fine. You just sign into your My Nintendo account, you're good to go. Really, there's no real issues with it. I think it does the job. I think obviously they wanted to get this ahead of Switch 2 because they obviously, like they said, they're planning on releasing daily Switch 2 news after the Direct, which is interesting. Which I'm sure is going to be like Sakurai's photo of the day that he did, where it's just like, did you know
close
that
enough? Welcome back.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl will have stages.
Today we're talking about the new SL and SR buttons on the Joy-Cons, like just shit like that. It's like, oh, okay.
Does the C button mean combust? Let's find out. Skibbity bottom bottom.
Oh, exactly. God damn it. But yeah, it's. I think it does the job. It does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still a part of me that just
And, like,
wishes they
if you
brought
don't
back.
want it, it doesn't matter because,
You
it's
just
not
not
like your
download it.
not like your news source at the app of choice won't tell you what's happening for the
You know what my
important stuff
you know what my
anyway.
real dream is. You know what my real dream is they add a fourth tab when the Switch 2 comes out. Fucking Miiverse, bring it back. Bring it back. It's time, dude. It's time. I want yes. I want people ranking the water in video games again. I want all that shit, dude. Bring it back.
I want to watch someone experience Super Metroid for the first time again.
Oh, that was
Why can't Metroid crawl?
that was such a good thread.
You genuinely couldn't tell if
I
any
think
of
he
them.
ended up finishing the game too, so like good for him.
I think my favorite part of Miiverse was always I can't tell if this is somebody being ironic or if it's an 8-year-old. You know what I mean? Where it's like you cannot tell. I'm like, are they baiting or is this a genuine child who is struggling to comprehend a video game? Who knows? But it's funny either way. But yeah, like I say, overall pretty solid direct for me, especially going
Yeah,
in with it late stage direct.
it was really good.
I think you just all
Definitely,
hate
like,
those.
yeah, like I went into this with zero expectations, and I'm like, a lot of pleasant surprises in here. A
Yeah.
lot of cool stuff to look forward to. Again, like Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life. I never thought they'd see the light of day again.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, oh hell yeah. Little treats. And again, they're perfect games to me to have Switch 1 releases when the Switch 2 is out. Because they are not
Yeah.
games where you're going to be sitting there going, damn it.
This is gonna sell our console,
Like Pokemon is one of those games where you're going to go, damn it, it still looks like ass. Whereas Tomodachi Life is going to be fine on Switch 2.
Yeah, but you'll be doing that for as long as Pokemon exists.
Yeah, Gen 10, damn it.
Aw, dang it.
Oh, it finally looks like a PS2 game. Thank God for that, right? Oh, perfect. Ugh. But yeah, overall, pretty solid.
Yeah.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Next week, we'll be talking all about the Switch 2. All of our impressions. Who knows?
We'll know
Will it be
everything
better
about
or
it.
worse than the direct we just talked about?
You'll know next week.
Who
ladies and
knows?
gentlemen. You'll be know next week. I'm expecting everybody, if the pre-orders have gone up on April 2nd, everybody should be posting in this. I have got mine pre-ordered. Thank you, Ethan, for the excellent advice. One more time. Let's go through the PowerPoint. No.
Oh my god.
No.
This is where he busts out a second PowerPoint.
No.
If you guys really want to mess with Ethan, say all of that on the comments of this one and freak him out before the thing happens.
Yeah, before. Oh, thanks, Ethan. Yeah, got mine secured, dude.
Thanks for your help, Ethan. I stole mine from a child. The cops are knocking on my door as I type this.
Just get a message from the police going, dude, we keep getting these reports of Switch 2s being stolen and they just keep referring us to your video, okay? Like, that's what you
We love the content, but you gotta stop this, man.
You gotta stop that, dude. Real question is, who will be more offended by the presentation, the children or Jack? Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out. I'm only kidding. He can have a Nintendo Switch 2, but only if he flies to Ireland and get it from there, dude. That's the rule. UK ones are mine. Anyway, that's it. We're done. Thank you for hanging out with us, guys. It's been fun. We'll be back same time, same place next week for the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Will we be disappointed? Will we be coming here angry? Or will we be coming overjoyed at the fact that we're getting Splatoon 1 remastered? Yeah. Will Switch 2 be the main topic of the show next week? Find out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, enjoy this week, guys. It's not that often that we get a Nintendo console, so enjoy it while you can. Hope you prepare accordingly, and we'll see you after the aftermath, I guess. So yeah, thanks ever so much for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.